Hello and good evening. Welcome to SKTV and you're watching the Manipur Files. I'm your host, Utpala Longjam. Tonight we'll discuss the government's stand on missile type and drone bombing attacks. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh called an emergency cabinet meeting on Saturday following a week of renewed violence in the state. A young woman lost her life after being shot in the head, and her young daughter, along with several others, was injured when a drone bomb was used to target unarmed, innocent civilians on September 1st, 2024. On Friday, suspected militants launched rocket attacks at the residence of Manipur's first Chief Minister, Marimbam Koireng, killing one elderly person and injuring 6 others. In Jiribam, one person was shot dead in his sleep on Friday, September 6, 2024, by armed terrorists who also reportedly stole cash from the victim's home. 6 people were killed in fresh violence in Jiribam district on Saturday morning, according to police. A security source reported that several others were injured and the number of casualties may rise. As we speak, the violence continues in these areas. What started as an ethnic conflict has now dangerously escalated, threatening not only this region, but the security of the entire Union of India. Kuki terrorists are using drone bombs, military-grade projectiles, long-range rockets, and other sophisticated weaponry to inflict maximum damage on Meitei civilians and their properties. Anxiety levels among innocent Meitei civilians have surged, with villagers keeping their lights off after dark to avoid being detected by these drones. People are living in absolute fear and uncertainty, not knowing from which direction the next attack will come. So far, there have been many casualties and evidence shows possible foreign involvement. To delve into this major issue, we have a team of knowledgeable experts joining us tonight. I'm honored to introduce our panelists for tonight. Joining us online, we have retired Colonel KISHOR Singh, who commanded Special Frontier Force, served in Manipur and Northeast as military intelligence officer during Kuki-Naga clash, culminating to NSC and IM peace initiation. He is presently teaching army officers on military technology at the prestigious United Services Institute of India, New Delhi, and working at CLAWS, Center for Law Warfare Studies, on research paper on geopolitical developments in Myanmar, and also is an ex-NDA. Welcome to the Manipur Files. Colonel.
Next,
I'm privileged to introduce our panelists who are with us in the studio. We have Mr. N. IBUNGOCHOUBI, Executive Editor, Manipur Mail. Welcome to Manipur Files.
Thank you, Utpala.
And last but not the least, we have Mr. O. NABAKISHORE Singh, Retired Chief Secretary and politician. Welcome to the Manipur Files. Once again, a warm welcome to our 3 panelists, and without any further delay, let's get on with the debate for tonight. My first question is for Colonel KISHOR Singh. First and foremost, who could be helping or funding the Kuki terrorists behind this well-planned attack with drone bombs and missile? Over the last 4 months, it seemed like life was edging back to normalcy. However, the Kuki terrorists were apparently planning and procuring explosive projectiles. So how was this not intercepted? Can we call this the failure of the intelligence department? Colonel KISHOR.
Right. Firstly, thank you very much for inviting me to this platform. And coming to the question part as to who could be helping Kuki militants, I would put it in a little different way as to, firstly, let us question whether they are being helped or otherwise. Because Kukis themselves, they call themselves as volunteers, not militants.
Okay.
Militant is a word we have, put it as a metaphor. So let us address it in a very holistic manner. They do not call themselves as militants. They call themselves as Kuki volunteers, fighting for a homeland for themselves. Now, with that as a start point, let us come to whether they are being helped or otherwise. If we see the technology or the weapons being used by them in recent past, I'm talking about the bombing of drones by a drone and firing of rockets. They do not seem to be an indigenous product as they claim to be. Reason being, manipulating some load to be dropped by drone takes a lot of time of training as well as acquisition of technology. Whereas drones are available in market, in free market, however, drones capable of carrying 1 kg weight and dropping at precise location is not readily available in open market.
Okay.
These are considered as military grade. Next point is about the rocket. A rocket which can cover a distance of around 5 to 6 kilometers is not a simple thing which can be manufactured at the background. So, keeping this point in view, it is evident that they are being helped by someone beyond the Churasanpur region or whatever, where they are, the concentration is. Now let's come to who could be helping them. That is a little bigger subject as to who would be benefited by fomenting travel in India or in Nordics. So I would like to paint a picture here as to who would be benefited. Without going further, the first beneficiary will be China per se, who is making their BRI functional. They are at present making Kyaikpyu deep sea port to connect with Yunnan province, and they are buying time to complete the project. That is one. Okay. Second is, very recently, we have seen what has happened in Bangladesh, and 4 months prior to that, previous Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Ms. Hasina, mentioned about a white diplomat wanting to take an island, St. Martin's Island, and she also mentioned that they are wanting to create a Christian separate country, carving out parts of Bangladesh, parts of India, and parts of Myanmar.
Okay.
If we put these things together, there seems to be an, I would say, deep state element trying to help brothers cookies to to carve out a Christian country. So I would put it this way as of now.
Okay, thank you so much for your views. Was this? Well, I had one more question. This was not apparently intercepted by the intelligence. So, do you think this was a failure on the part of the intelligence? Because something which was happening for 4 months. Apparently, we thought there was peace coming back into the state, but they were cooking up something in the background. So, yeah, please go ahead.
Right. When it comes to intelligence, I would like to recount just one incident which had happened in 1995 when I was posted there. There's a place called Parva, which is a tri-junction of Myanmar, India, and Bangladesh. It's a very hotbed as far as insurgent movements are concerned, like NSCN, ULFA, PLA, as well as insurgents of Myanmar. So I'm coming to how the int is gathered. An informer comes and goes to various in agencies. Like at Parva, you have in agencies of SIB, RO, Assam Rifle, Military Intelligence, and as well as BSF. Same person goes to each and every outlet, the post, gets in the information, and it is gathered at a higher level, like it goes up and it is gathered at a higher level, and the same information given by a person is considered as corroborated, collected by all the in agencies. That's how people collect. And how we come to know the end is who is going to fit the government or who is going to fit the agency. Okay. Let's come to Manipur per se, the question proper that you asked.
Okay.
Who in Manipur is gathering intelligence about cookies? We are bound within the valley. How many Manipur police personals can enter cookie-dominated areas? Zero.
Right.
So the chances of gathering input by our own Manipur police is almost nil. Let's come to the other agencies of the central forces. Before answering that, I would like to paint a picture, or not paint a picture, but just recollect as to what did Mr. Sambit Patra, the Honorable MP of Lok Sabha, when he came to visit More on 4th of September. He met non-tribal, non-Manipuri organizations. There are 4 or 5, like Tamil Sangam, Gorkha Samaj Samiti, Border Trade Chamber of Commerce, and Hindustan Samaj. It's very interesting to note that these organizations, when they demanded or when they met Honorable MP, they had not mentioned even a single word about violence. They had not mentioned even a single word about threat to their life. Whereas in the valley, the present fight is for survival. So what I'm coming to say, what I'm coming to tell you is that outside the valley, there is no threat to life, there is no violence. Violence is being meted out only to Meitei community in a very, very selective manner by cookies. And how the cookies are painting this picture. If you recollect few debates few days back, cookie spokesperson paint this picture as to Meiteis are anti-nationals. Their groups have been trained by China. They have been fighting against India. They want a separate country as such. Whereas cookies have never raised arms against the nation. They are volunteers. Got it? So Central Intelligence Agency would never have this, iota of doubt as to they are developing weaponry, they are, arming themselves. So there is chances of having a lacuna, a blind spot on the part of Central Intelligence. This is my analysis. May not be true, but then this is how I see it.
Okay. Thank you for your insight and for your views. I'll come back to you in the next round. My next question is for Mr. O. Nabakishore Singh. Well, we've been talking about the cookie propaganda. So we can see that everywhere, all over in Twitter, X, etc., they've made up their own narratives, and although we do try to clarify it from our end as well, we see that a dialogue is evidently not possible at all now. So, which brings us to the fact that this is a complete failure of law and order mechanism and inter-community relationships between the two conflicting communities in the state. So, what, according to you, is the best way to handle this crisis going forward? And yeah, please go ahead.
In fact, there is a complete shift in kind of the weapons used in this war. I think it will not be wrong to call this conflict between the cookies and the Meiteis to be a war, in fact, I mean, it has escalated so much, especially recently, where the drones along with the rocket propelled grenades are dropped in the civilian population area, and long range rockets are launched and to attack the villagers. So it is not so different from what is happening in Ukraine and Israel and the Gaza. So it is perhaps maybe fit to name it as war. So in fact, but what is the response of the government? In fact, the response of the government, especially the government of India, has to be very, very appropriate in the sense that such kind of use of weapons by the Kuki militants, it poses threat not only to the people of Manipur, it poses a security threat to the whole nation, as you mentioned at the beginning, at the introduction. So it has to be taken very seriously. But what is happening on the ground is that the Kukis have been preparing for this kind of equipments. I mean, how to prepare drones and on how to fit the bombs on the drones and how to make these rockets or missiles, as you can call it. I mean, the rockets and the missiles are more or less synonymous. And right from the beginning, very beginning, we have noticed that they were making pompies, by using the pipes, these PHC water supply pipes. The one which have been dropped at Longjam and Moirang, they were about 5-6 feet length pipes, and how it was propelled and is a question mark. Without really, finding out whether who is helping them or whether they are making these rockets on their own with their own technology, that becomes very, very immaterial. What is required is that how we respond to this kind of development of weapons and the future threat to the state of Manipur. As of today, no one in Manipur, including the chief minister or governor, is safe. The kind of rockets which has a range of more than 5 kilometers can easily reach the chief minister's secretariat or Raj Bhavan or any place. That's why I think the people in Manipur must be harboring some kind of a fear as to what is going to happen. Anything can happen, because the ex-chief minister, Mr. Moiranga, home can be targeted, anyone can be targeted. Even if it is not targeted, in a very thickly populated city like Imphal, it can cause a lot of damage, lots of casualties.
Is this indicating a sort of a cleansing of an ethnic cleansing, as we've always been saying, using this word, of the Meitei population, like in Kashmir? Can we compare it to Kashmir, where the Kashmiri Pandits were driven out from Kashmir? So is this some sort of a ploy similar to that, to drive out the Meitei population from Manipur?
I don't think so. Actually, the Kukis, by using this kind of sophisticated weapons, they want to send out a message to government of India and the government of Manipur. They are showing that they are showing their capabilities. They want to be in a position of strength. When they have to talk to the government of India or the Manipur government, that they want to put a limit.
Okay.
Beyond this, if you do something, we can also do extensive damage to you. So they are talking from a point of strength.
Okay.
And until and unless the central government or security forces really sanitize all the villages by using combing operation or some kind of operation, this threat will remain, and that threat will cause lots of casualties. It can happen anytime. So as you said, the firing is going on now in Jiribam, and nobody knows. The Kuki militants can launch attack at any time in the night or at any time. So the response of the state government seems to be very, very inadequate. As I understand, there is a drama of their MLAs sitting together with chief minister and finding out and requesting the governor to restore to the chief minister the authority of the chairman of the unified command, as if that is going to give him the power and the strength to launch a counter offensive against the Kukis. I don't think he will be able to do that, because he must know, he should know, and all the people of Manipur also should know that the army and Assam Rifle do not operate under the directions of the Chief Minister of Manipur. Their line of command and control comes directly from the Ministry of Defense.
Okay.
So this restoration of the Unified Command Chairman will not help in countering the cookies offensive. What is required is that a very well planned kind of a sanitization of both hills and the valleys.
Okay.
And this popular government is only namesake government. It's a very ineffective in tackling any kind of situation, even if that is restored, even if SHU is also, they are demanding for revocation of SHU. SHU is, has not been extended from 29 February, and since the government of India is providing the protection to the cookie militants in the name of SHU, and they are armed, so it's not making any difference. So what is required is that some kind of a concerted kind of and a coordinated effort from both the state and the central government to dispossess the cookie militants from the kind of materials they are using to prepare to make these rockets or to make the drones along with the grenades, so that we feel a little safer.
Thank you for your views, Mr. O. NABAKISHORE Singh. I'll come back to you again in the next round. We're continuing with what Mr. O. NABAKISHORE Singh just said, Mr. N. IBUNGOCHOUBI, about the response, which is inadequate, as we can see. Now, we know about the closed-door meeting that the Chief Minister had with the government, with the Governor, I beg your pardon, resolving the Manipur and also, before I go to that, Chief Minister Biren Singh had mentioned about resolving the Manipur conflict as part of the centre's 100-day plan and expressed full confidence in it. This was in June 2024, and in the meeting, now continuing with the meeting, in the meeting with the Governor of Manipur last evening, he requested for reinstatement of the Unified Command Chairman, as Mr. O. NABAKISHORE just said, to the Chief Minister, to himself. The question is, why is the ruling party, a ruling political party, making such demands, which should actually normally be done by the opposition? Or are we anticipating the Chief Minister resigning on moral grounds and the mounting pressures?
Utpala, the very topic, government stand on missile or whatever it is. Let us talk about the government. Ever since the crisis began last year in the month of May, we have seen in the last 16 months. Do you have a moral strength? I am referring to the government of India and both the Manipur.
Right.
If you call yourself a government, do you have the moral strength to call yourself a government when you have not been able to protect the life and property of the citizen for the last almost 16 months? The very topic, government stand, I think it is a kind of a mockery today, because when there is no governments, we are talking of the government stand. First, we have to understand the political party as such as the BJP, that is both in Delhi, which was in majority in the last term, and in Manipur. When the political party was ruling both in the center and in Manipur, there was I think no communication as how to handle this very issue of what has happened in our own state. Whether the question today is, do they have the political acumen? Do they have the political acumen to understand? Today we have, I think in the cabinet, we have three former presidents of the BJP. You have Rajnath, you have the Home Minister, then you have the Surface Minister, Nitin Gadkari. You have three former presidents of the political party, which I suppose they are supposed to understand the length and breadth of this very country.
Right.
My editorial comment, which I have already put in the earlier discussion, is about the political party which is in power in Manipur, that is BJP, and both in Delhi. Do they have a common platform where they discuss the very issue of Manipur, which I think they have not. My only worry today is every single political party has a students' wing. Say you have the Akhil Bharatiya for the BJP, you have the NSUI, you have the SFI, and then you have a youth wing of all the political parties. And very surprisingly, India is the only country you have a Mahila also. Every political party has a Mahila wing. Now, when I commented that the students' wing of BJP from Manipur should speak out on this issue, they have not. The very youth, they have not spoken out. The Mahila wing, they have not spoken out. When they speak out, it is the victory of a democratic institution. Differences in a political party is not a defeat, it is a growth of a democratic system, which I suppose the political party, which you have a huge political structure in Manipur called the BJP building in Manipur, I do not know whether the students, the youth, the Mahila, the political party, the president, secretary, so far, we are deprived of a statement, of a political statement from this political party, which means they have no political will. I'm talking of the political acumen or the wisdom or whatever it is, the commitment. When they do not have a will to solve, when they have a will, the commitment will come by understanding the issue. When they have not openly discussed what is happening in Manipur at the grassroots level of Manipur, whether it is a missile, whether it is what is happening in terms of the blockade at different highways. Let us go back to the very first month. My friend, my childhood friend, Colonel KISHOR Chand, we have grown up together in the same school, and he is an expert in the military intelligence. When the Home Minister said that he will be coming back after 15 days, that was in the month of May. I think he forgot. So is this a kind of a commitment that the Union Minister is giving? Which I think that is why sometimes we are compelled to use the word called the act of moral turpitude. They are deprived of such moral responsibility to the country. When a person is killed in Manipur, it is not Manipur, it is India. So let us not talk about what is happening for the last 16 months. We have to critically analyze the ability, the Chief Minister going to the Governor's place and requesting to reinstate or give the power of the so-called unified thing. I think they belong to the same political party, which means they do not have an understanding. Utpala, if something is in my left hand, if I say that my right hand doesn't know what I have on my left hand, I think it is a blatant lie to the people of the country, to the entire world. The entire discourse of what is happening in Manipur depends on the political will of that political party that is sitting both in Delhi and in Manipur, both the Home Minister. And referring to the intelligence failure that you were referring, maybe I am not qualified to comment on that. But being in the media almost for the last 4 decades, I understand that there is something called military intelligence. There is something called IB. And then there's something called RO. There is something called today NIA, CBI. There are so many. And the entire state, there's also something called CID, where they're supposed to give intelligence. When a bad thing has been prevented, I think Tamo, the former Chief Secretary, will be more qualified to enlighten. When you grade the administration, it is not countering after what has happened. Making it nothing happen is an achievement. Making it nothing happen is an achievement for the government. If the government of India, the Home Minister, the Defense Minister, of course, Amo has already said that the chain of command comes from the Ministry of Defense and of course some from the Union Home Minister. The contention is when the airdropping bomb, it will not be manufactured on a day. It must have taken a long time. Making it nothing happen or preventing a bad incident is an achievement of a government, which I suppose from that point of view, whether the government turn a blind eye to what is happening or they were less interested in what they were happening or they were just being a bystander to the bad things happening in Manipur. And surprisingly, when the entire, suppose if this happened in the heart of Delhi, if this
Yes.
drop fell in Rajpath or Jantar Mantar in Delhi, or if it fell in Gandhinagar, or if suppose it was dropped in the city of Mumbai, which you call the commercial capital of this country, what or how the national media or the political thinkers would have reacted and then responded systematically.
Right.
So I think, Utpala, the key issue today is how committed is the government of India. So when you talk of the government of India, it is the political party which is in power.
In power, exactly.
Now, the key issue is the same party is ruling in Manipur, the same party was ruling, and now you have a coalition in Delhi. There is no communication between them. And let me also quote one more, which I quote very often. A very famous IPS officer said, quote, any conflict, whether it is a communal conflict or the riot, can be contained within 24 hours in this country. And if the magnitude is little high, it will be contained within 48 hours with minimum collateral damage. And then he continues to say that if it continues beyond 48 hours, then the government is a part of it. Now, when a very senior IPS officers had made a remark that the government of India, in any part of the country, you can contain, you can control within 24 hours, and you can do it within 48 hours, though there might be some collateral damages of some, whatever it is. If it continues beyond that, the government is a part of it. Now the question in Askins is the government a part of this crisis? This is what we have to look at it.
Right.
And if the government is a part of this crisis, there is no end to it. And this political drama of what is happening, the ding-dong battle between Delhi and Imphal, I think, I would say that sanity, I think they are depraved. The cruelty, whatever it is, I call it moral turpitude. You know, the act of moral turpitude, that is happening in this very land of ours. So before discussing anything, you have to be first a truly committed nationalist to understand what is happening in Manipur. And when a person is dying in Manipur, the people dealing in Delhi, the union minister, whatever it is, they should also feel that it is happening in this country, not in Manipur.
Right.
It is not an isolated case. So I think from there the debate might continue. I think I would like to start by
With
saying this.
Thank you so much for your views. Continuing with what Mr. Ibungochoubi just mentioned about 24 hours to 48 hours for any conflict to be controlled. Colonel Kishore Chand Singh, what would you like to supplement on that? And also, to add to that, there have been unverified claims of drones flying around the airport, Imphal Airport, International Airport, and some more areas of Imphal. Now, airport is a high security area, so do you think that this is a ploy to disrupt air travel and create fear and panic in the minds of people? And as it is very, very evident that Meiteis have lost their faith in the central forces, particularly Assam Rifles, and there have been indications that they are working with the cookies. There were videos which were out in the social media where they did show certain hand in glove where they were working together, and unverified, of course. And there were also videos of these weapons being manufactured in some local areas, which again were unverified. But since these came into the view of the public, why didn't the government or the army, the military, take these seriously and at least go and check if that was really happening? What could have been the reason for that? Please go ahead.
Thank you, Utpala. I'll come from I'll start with quoting one word of yours. You had mentioned unverified. Today, we are living in 21st century with so much of social media bombardment. And the advent of AI has also moved into our social life. A lot of clips, video clips, which we find in social media may not be the truth. There may be a lot of fake videos. People with vested interests trying to change the perception of a particular community. Having said that, I'm not also denying whatever you have said. Now, first, let me address what my friend IBUNGOCHOUBI had mentioned about, controlling or containing any situation in any part of the country within 24 hours. I think it will be too far-fetched to, agree to that. Let's talk about J&K. The whole nation has put its all weight and might throughout 57 years of our independence. Have we come to any solution in that part of the country? No. It's not that we have lacked in resources. It's not that we have lacked in any effort to do that. So it may be a little far-fetched to say that the problem in Manipur can be solved within 24 hours. Even after that, I would also tend to agree that there has been a lot of lackluster response from the center. To come to that, as I had mentioned before, though in a very cursory way, so how is the center seeing this place? How would the people who matter, the power that be, how would they understand what is happening in Manipur? It will be through people who report on it, people who fit there. What sort of message are they getting?
Okay, so Colonel Kishore Chand, can you tell us what are the possibilities of precedent rule in Manipur, or the return of AFSPA, and if so, what are the implications that could come along with that?
Right. Coming to possibility of precedent rules, I'm not qualified to comment on that, that being a very political part.
Okay.
And I would talk about AFSPA returning back to Manipur. To be very blunt and frank, I think the situation demands its return. The situation as of now demands its return, as we are looking for central security forces to act on or maintain law and order in our state. Central forces would not be able to do so until and unless they are empowered with AFSPA. So, coming to AFSPA, I think it's a welcome, I feel it should be a welcome move, but AFSPA should be for the whole state, not limited to Valley. Second thing is about foreign hand, or I would just like to paint a picture as to what is happening in Myanmar. See, Kuki Jo Chin is a new term which has been coined very recently. Before that, what we knew was Kuki, and Jo came up much later. Myanmar has got a state called Chin, where similar ethnic communities are staying. And the Myanmar's history or development in Myanmar is very intricately linked with what is happening in Manipur. Just want to spend half a minute on that, as to Myanmar has enacted two constitutions so far, and their central thing is that one country, one religion, one language. That means anyone who is not a Buddhist should become Buddhist. Anyone who does not speak Myanmari or Bamar should speak Bamar. And that's how they have been trying to enforce a nation state out of Myanmar or earlier Burma. This is also one of the reasons why so many ethnic communities, ethnic people have fled that country. If you see in a very wide span of time, the number of or the influx of migrants from Myanmar has something to do with what is happening in Myanmar as such. We saw a large number of Myanmaris or Burmese people coming in 1960s when the first military coup took place. We saw another wave in 1988 when SLOC was established. And the third wave happened in 2021 after the present military junta came to power. Okay, this is not the end of it. Second thing is, to fight a military junta, the EOA or Ethnic Armed Organizations of Myanmar have been fighting the military junta, and Western countries as well as the powers that be have been sort of facing in troubled water in Myanmar. So that's how the Chin Defense Force, which is mainly comprising of Chin of the Kuki, have been getting arms, have been getting trained, and if you recollect the previous print media, sometime in 2023, September, October, retired US Marine commandos have come to train these EOAs. I would like to link up this with what we have talked about a few minutes back about the foreign aid.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much again, Colonel Kishore Chand. My next question is for Mr. O. Nabakishore Singh. This is related to the question that I just asked Colonel Kishore Chand Singh about the precedent rule, the possibility of precedent rule and animated suspension. What are your views on that, and do you think what are its implications?
Pala, as far as precedent rule is concerned, it could have been imposed long time back, as soon as the the violence erupted. And since the the state government is of the government of the BJP, central also BJP, they are not willing to impose president rule. Another reason, apart from the political reason, is that central government does not want to take the entire responsibility of maintaining law and order in Manipur.
But that's not happening, evidently.
That's not going to happen. Even Article 355 itself also, there are lots of debates, in de facto it is there, de jure it is not there. So central government is playing very safe by not taking any responsibility under Article 355 or Article 356. They want to let the state government of Mr. Biren to take all the blames for all the failures. Once the central government takes the responsibility under president rule, all blame will go to them, and they are not interested to take that kind of responsibility. Second point, which I want to mention about the in the police officers press conference, they mentioned that they are going to acquire some anti-drone systems to intercept the drones, but our area is so vast, I think drones can come from Churachandpur, can come from Kangpokpi, can from Tamil, so many places, Kangpokpi, all boundaries, it can come from any directions, So is it possible to have the anti-drone system to intercept any drone? That is physically not possible. Second thing is that, again, the missiles or rockets can come from any directions, See, again, is the Manipur government or central government going to have an anti-missile system as is available in Israel? That's very expensive, and that is again for mainly for the habitation area. Our area is so vast. Again, that is also not going to work. What is going to work is peaceful kind of a dialogue. I think that the central government should ask the Cookies and the Meitei side also. Meiteis are only defending, they are not aggressive. They are still using the conventional kind of weapons, maybe at the most SLR or automatic rifles, whereas the other side is using the latest technology of missiles and the drones, which are very difficult to intercept, So Meiteis, the habitation areas, Meiteis will be always now at the receiving end, and it can go extend beyond Manipur. It can go to Assam, Nagaland, or it can further escalate. So the response has to be, if the technological intervention or is not possible, it should go through via the medium of ceasefire through the medium of negotiation once the central government gives a timeline to the Kuki militants that you just hand over all the materials or equipments for assembling all these missiles or whatever. Otherwise, we will take certain action. Yesterday there was some kind of surveillance by using helicopters. That's not sufficient. That is too little. I think one has to go to the ground. And who is going to the ground to stop the cookies from making the missiles or drone assembling drones with bombs? Again, the state police who are there in Surachandpur, Kangpokpi are very few, and I don't think they have any guts to even provide the information about such information. And there is hardly any administration in those far-flung areas. So they have a free hand to assemble any drone, to do anything. So the central government, especially and the state government, should understand the gravity of the situation properly and take actions. So lastly, I just want to say that our army and Assam Rifles are saying that we are protecting the buffer zones. But whereas the Kuki militants are not using the buffer zone, they are using the aerial attack. So how will you prevent the aerial attack? So it's a high time that they think about the strategy to stop this war.
Okay, thank you so much for your insight. Now the final question for tonight, Mr. IBUNGOCHOUBI, in your opinion, how much further can this issue escalate, and do you think it's out of control now?
As I had already given in my editorial comment that the wound is very deep, the cut is very deep, it will take its own time to heal. It is not the mere physical cut. People have been wounded deep. Rehabilitation would not only mean bringing back those who are displaced to their normal places or their original place where they have been. It would also mean their psychological, whatsoever, the trauma, the financial, whatever it is. Rehabilitation would comprise many other things when we talk of bringing back normalcy. Utpala, as I have said, we are not seeing any kind of a commitment. We are not seeing any kind of a statement in the last 16 months from the government that this is our first step. When we discuss policies, the government has to spell out very clearly, whether it is the state government or the union government, they have to give a very clear statement rather than making rhetorical statements or passing comments in such a very serious issue. Only when the government spells out, we have at least a forum to discuss whether this plan will be feasible, whether these would be practical or in some way can be realized what the government is thinking and how the people would be a part to facilitate, to come back to normalcy. My view here is, I am yet to see any kind of a political commitment, seriousness, both from the Union Home Minister and from the State Home Minister in terms of maintaining law and order, containing the crisis, and first to protect the life and property of the common citizen. When the government, the constitutional duty to protect the life and property of every single citizen, the system will have to work in accordance with the philosophy of how to protect the life and property. All the departments have to channelize, all the departments have to be activated as to how we can prevent further violence. I think this should be one way of how we should look at it. What we have not seen is the government has not clearly spelled out what they are thinking, what they want to do, what they would do. Unless they spell out, how can we discuss? That is a simple thing that we have to see. There is no clarity, there is no commitment. At the same time, there is no honesty. When the union government, when the union minister says that it is the mistrust between the two communities, now how can I trust as a citizen of this country when the union minister, the union home minister gave a commitment that I would be back after 15 days and he never came back he came for a campaign during the election.
Right.
How will the people of this very country trust him?
Right.
That is the key issue. There is honesty, there is commitment, and of course, the political will has to come from that vision of oneness.
Right.
Oneness. I think the people have suffered.
Enough, yes.
And what is the future of our children?
Right.
What
Right.
would
Absolutely.
our grandchildren? There are certain things which has to be premised on thinking what is the future of our children. You talk of World War II, you talk of World War I, you have the Vietnam War, you have the Korean War, you have so many conflicts. You have the Berlin Wall broken down. There had been wars and battles all over the world.
Right.
Now, when there are certain things, you cannot demand moon to be brought at your courtyard. There has to be a sense of belonging to the state. Anyone who is born in this state is a Manipuri. Anyone who is born and who believes to be a part of this state is a Manipuri. And that has to live by that philosophy.
Right.
And anything beyond, if you are asking anything beyond this, you have to be the son of the soil of Manipur. This is one thing that we have to understand. So the government of India, the government of Manipur has to work together with a kind of a feeling that what is happening in Manipur is happening. And I think the latest trend of sidelining the issue by bringing in the word called a foreign hand.
Involvement, right.
Foreign hand. What has been happening since May last? You cannot divert the issue by saying, of course, the Union External Affairs Minister, somewhere in one of his passing remarks, said there are some foreign hands.
Right.
If there are foreign hands, they would have reacted, they would have responded systematically. And now, when things are happening at this rate, you are creating monsters of good human beings, and you continue to create bad human beings, monsters, and we are making our children, we are wrongly misguiding our young generation. And is it a deliberate design of this very government to create Manipur of statelessness and sense of anarchy? So we have no future. We will fight back, of course, the people
Yes,
of Manipur.
we will fight back.
The resilience would come back.
Yes.
However, coming back to that point, your government's stand on missile, my point would be, let the government prove that there is a government.
Right.
And the government has to prove during such difficult times.
Yes.
The rule of law has to be exhibited during the most difficult times, and they have to prove that the government exists first. Then the people will have trust in them.
Trust, exactly. Thank you so much. We've had a lot of valuable insights from our esteemed panelists for tonight. This brings us to the end of our debate. Thank you all to the panelists once again for sharing your valuable insights. This discussion has shed light on the complexities and the grave nature of the situation in Manipur currently. As we conclude, it's clear that the road ahead is uncertain and the stakes are incredibly high. The need for effective leadership, accountability and swift actions has never been more crucial. We hope for a resolution that restores peace and security to this region, to Manipur. Thank you for watching the Manipur Files on SKTV. I'm your host, Utpala Longjam, signing off here for tonight. Stay informed, stay safe, and have a good night.
Thank you.